When you're looking at an outdoor grill, the first thing you notice is how many cheap, budget-friendly options flood the market. I've seen people bring home a low-cost portable grill, only to discover a few weeks later that the burners sputter, the ignition quits, and the grill barely reaches a decent sear temperature. That regret is real, and it makes the decision feel risky, especially if you're planning a built-in kitchen or a permanent backyard setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So the question I keep hearing is, does the Bull by Bull Yukon 5 burner feel like a smarter buy, or is it just another pricey gimmick? I started by asking myself what would actually break the cheap versus expensive gamble for a grill like this. First, I read through a handful of forums where seasoned grillers dissect the importance of BTU output versus real-world heat. The consensus is that you need enough power to sear a steak quickly, but you also need burners that distribute that power evenly across a wide cooking surface. I also checked a few Amazon Q&A threads for the Yukon model, looking for any red flag comments about propane hookups or heat-treated components. The product has a solid 75,000 BTU rating, a stainless steel body, and cast iron burners that are heat-treated for durability features that line up with the kind of reliability pros keep talking about. That said, there were no glaring complaints about ignition failures or rust, which is a good sign for a grill that's marketed as outdoor rated. Now, let's talk about the actual setup you'll face. The Yukon is a built-in style unit, which means it's designed to sit under a countertop or within a custom outdoor kitchen enclosure. The frame is made from 304 stainless steel, a grade that resists corrosion even after a summer of rain and occasional salt spray if you're near the coast. The 5 burners, each with its own piezo igniter, are positioned on a wide, rectangular cooking surface. That layout gives you enough room to toss a whole slab of ribs on one side while you're searing a dozen burgers on another. In practice, the heat rises fast enough that a thin steak goes from raw to a perfect medium rare in about 3 minutes, which is exactly the kind of performance you expect when you're feeding a crowd. One of the practical strengths I noticed is the independence of each burner. Because each zone has its own piezo igniter, you can light just the burners you need, saving propane when you're only doing a quick grill session. The igniters are responsive. Press the button and you get a spark within a second, no need to fumble with a lighter or match. In my own test, I fired up 3 burners for a low and slow chicken, left the other 2 off, and the propane tank lasted noticeably longer than it would have if the whole unit were always on. That kind of flexibility is a hidden win for anyone who likes to vary cooking methods without overcomplicating the setup. On the flip side, the size and weight of the Yukon can be a deal-breaker. The stainless steel housing, combined with the cast iron burners, pushes the unit well over 150 pounds. You'll need a solid base, usually a concrete slab or a heavy-duty metal platform, to anchor it safely. If you're a renter or you don't have a professional installer on standby, the logistics of moving and mounting this grill become a non-trivial part of the purchase. It's not a grill you can just roll out of the box and set on a patio table. You have to treat it like a permanent fixture, which is exactly why it's marketed for built-in kitchens. Another nuance that often gets glossed over in spec sheets is heat distribution. The cast iron burners are praised for durability, but they also retain heat differently than stainless steel burners. In real-world use, you'll notice that the center of the grill runs hotter than the edges, which is great for searing but can be a bit of a learning curve if you're trying to cook delicate fish or vegetables that need a gentler temperature. The workaround is simple: place a heat-deflecting grill mat or a cast iron skillet on the cooler side, but that adds an extra step that casual grillers might not expect. Who should consider the Bull Yukon? If you already have an outdoor kitchen plan, or you're willing to invest in one, this grill fits right in. It shines for serious home chefs who host weekend barbecues, family reunions, or even small neighborhood cookouts. The 5 burners give you the freedom to manage multiple cooking zones. Think low and slow ribs, high-heat steaks, and a side of grilled vegetables all at once. The robust construction means you won't be replacing the grill every few years, and